Hi friends! Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, please give it a like, comment below, and take a moment to subscribe to our channel. We're traveling along Highway 97 from Osoyoos to Penticton in British Columbia. The route begins in a place shaped by heat and dry air, where the hills are covered in sagebrush and the sky feels wide and open. This southern stretch of the Okanagan Valley is known for its desert-like conditions, setting the tone for everything that follows. Just north of Osoyoos, the terrain begins to soften as vineyards and orchards appear more frequently along the hillsides. This is one of the most productive agricultural areas in the province, supported by long summers and carefully managed irrigation. The land here has been shaped over time into neat rows of grapevines and fruit trees, reflecting a balance between natural conditions and human effort. Long before this route became a highway, the valley served as an important travel corridor for the South Okanagan Nation. Trails followed the natural contours of the land, connecting water sources and seasonal gathering areas. These early pathways laid the groundwork for later routes, showing how geography has always guided movement through the valley. In the 19th century, the region became more widely known during the era of the Cariboo Gold Rush. While the main goldfields were farther north, routes through the Okanagan Valley became part of a broader network connecting the coast to the interior. Travelers, traders, and settlers passed through, gradually establishing a more permanent presence in the area. As the journey continues north, the small community of Oliver comes into view. Often referred to as the wine capital of Canada, Oliver reflects the region's deep connection to agriculture. Irrigation projects introduced in the early 20th century transformed what was once dry land into fertile ground, allowing farming and viticulture to thrive. This marked a turning point in the valley's development. Beyond Oliver, the scenery continues to evolve. The hills remain dry, but the presence of water becomes more noticeable, with lakes and rivers shaping the valley floor. The road follows these natural features, offering a sense of continuity between different parts of the landscape.
Thank you very much.
Approaching Okanagan Falls, the valley narrows slightly, and the connection between water and land becomes even more apparent. This area sits between two significant bodies of water, acting as a natural transition point within the region. Over time, it has developed as a small but important community, shaped by both agriculture and its location within the valley. The final stretch leads towards Skaha Lake, where the landscape opens once again. The presence of the lake adds a sense of calm, with its broad surface reflecting the surrounding hills. Water has always played a central role in the Okanagan, not only as a resource, but as a defining feature of the region's identity. Eventually, the route arrives in Penticton, a city set between Skaha Lake and Okanagan Lake. Its location has made it a natural gathering point for both travel and settlement. Over time, Penticton has grown into a larger center within the valley while still maintaining strong ties to the surrounding agricultural landscape. Throughout this route, the changes in scenery reflect a broader story of adaptation. From indigenous travel routes to modern highways, each stage has followed the same natural pathways. The introduction of irrigation, farming, and later tourism has added new layers, but the underlying geography remains constant. What stands out most is how closely the road follows the shape of the land. Rather than cutting across it, the route moves with the valley, tracing the edges of lakes and the contours of hills. This creates a journey that feels connected to its surroundings, offering a clear sense of how the region has developed over time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching!